I thought romancing someone in Coral Island would be simple. Reach 10 hearts, propose, get married, and done. Instead, I accidentally hit relationship roadblocks, almost proposed too early, and even showed up to my own wedding wearing my farming clothes. So, if your goal is to get married and start a family, here are the biggest romance mistakes to avoid. By the end of this guide, you'll know exactly how to go from your first conversation to married life without getting stuck along the way. Let's start with a mistake that's easy to make before the romance even begins. It's easy to meet someone you like and immediately decide they're the one. And I definitely had my favorites. But Coral Island actually introduces several romance candidates later through story progression, so if you commit too early, you might miss someone you would have liked even more. For example, Nina only visits the island during summer before leaving until winter, while Ben leaves on his annual road trip during the last 2 weeks of fall. Then there are the merfolk romance candidates, who take a bit more work to unlock. You'll first gain access to the merfolk kingdom after activating all the solar orbs in the Silver Kelp area. But you won't be able to build friendships with the merfolk until you've healed the coral tree and completed Cho Oyu's One of Us quest. That's when Denali, Semiru, and Princess Muranjani become available. Agong follows a slightly different path. You'll meet him with the other merfolk, but you can only romance him after completing Merfolk Chaperone Part 4 and reaching 8 hearts. Then there's Reina, one of the newest romance options in Update 1.3. You won't get to befriend her until you reach Town Rank A and rebuild the Recreation Center after Pufferfish leaves the island. So before you spend all your gifts on one person, it might be worth meeting everyone first. You may discover your favorite romance candidate much later than you expected. When most people think about romance in farming games, they immediately think about giving gifts. I did too, but gifts are only one part of the relationship system. Simply talking to villagers every day earns friendship points, and you'll earn even more during festivals. You can also increase relationships by raising your town rank, donating to the museum, healing the ocean, and completing offerings. And here's one tip I completely missed during my previous gameplay. Once you reach Town Rank C, visit the library. There's a knowledge book that permanently increases how quickly you earn friendship points, and I really wish I'd unlocked it sooner. Now, when it comes to gifting, not all gifts are created equal. And since you're limited to just 2 gifts per week, plus 1 extra on their birthday, you'll want to prioritize loved gifts whenever possible. If you don't want to carry different presents for everyone, there are also universal loved and universal liked gifts that work on almost every romance candidate. They're a great way to save backpack space while still building relationships consistently. And don't forget that gift value can be multiplied. Giving a gift on someone's birthday gives a huge relationship boost, and higher quality items are worth even more heart points compared to lower quality items. A little planning goes a long way. One mistake I made early on was waiting until I wanted to romance someone before thinking about their favorite gifts. By then, I realized many of their loved gifts required cooking, and I didn't have the right kitchen utensils yet. If your goal is to build relationships quickly, it's worth planning your kitchen upgrades ahead of time. The good news is, you don't have to buy every utensil at full price. Every Tuesday, Socket Electronics announces a discounted kitchen utensil on the Coral Shopping channel, and it'll stay 10% off for the rest of the week. It's a small discount, but early in the game, every coin counts. Buying your utensils gradually while they're on sale makes it much easier to start cooking loved gifts when you're ready, instead of scrambling to unlock everything at the last minute. This one confused me the most because I kept earning hearts, but then suddenly nothing happened. It turns out Coral Island has what's called the heart locking system. You see, reaching the next heart level isn't enough. You also need to watch the required heart events and hangouts before the relationship can continue. Don't worry, the game actually tells you when a new heart event is available, so don't ignore those letters or invitations. If your relationship feels stuck, chances are you simply have an event waiting for you. One of my favorite features is the Hangout system. At first, I thought they were just cute optional events, but they're actually an important part of progressing your relationship. Once a romance candidate reaches 2 hearts, they'll eventually start inviting you to hang out after conversations. And the more you interact with them, the more likely those invitations become. The nice thing is that saying no doesn't hurt your relationship, and NPC-initiated hangouts don't count toward your weekly limit. So don't stress if you're busy, just don't ignore them forever. Once you reach 8 hearts, you'll receive a letter from the blacksmith letting you know that lockets are now available. Giving someone a locket tells them you're interested in dating them. You can still date multiple romance candidates, but Update 1.3 added the jealousy system, and it's something you'll want to understand before handing out lockets to everyone. Jealousy can happen in a few different ways. If you date both siblings and have seen both of their 10-heart events, giving a gift to one can make the other jealous. You'll also unlock special jealousy cutscenes at the tavern after watching the 10-heart events of 4 different romance candidates. And once you're married, gifting a romance candidate of the same gender as your spouse, even on their birthday, can also trigger jealousy. When jealousy is triggered, your partner won't talk to you for 3 days, which can interrupt your relationship progression. So if you'd rather focus on the romance without the drama, you can always turn the jealousy system off in the game settings. Reaching 10 hearts feels like you've reached the finish line. And I definitely thought that once I maxed out someone's hearts, all I had to do was buy a diamond ring and propose. It turns out that there's still a checklist to complete first. Besides reaching 10 hearts, you'll also need to upgrade your farmhouse to level 3, watch all of your partner's required heart events and hangouts, and purchase a diamond ring from the blacksmith. The good news is that the game won't punish you for trying too early. If you're missing a requirement, your partner won't reject you permanently, and you won't lose your diamond ring. They'll simply let you know they're not ready yet, giving you a chance to finish anything you've missed. Ask me how I know this. The game doesn't automatically give you wedding clothes. My first wedding happened while I was still wearing my regular farming outfit. So before your big day, stop by the clothing store, pick out an outfit you actually want to wear, and equip it before the ceremony starts. Trust me, your future screenshots will thank you. If you've learned something new so far, consider subscribing. I share practical tips like these for cozy farming and life sim games every week. Getting married isn't actually the finish line, it's the beginning of a whole new chapter. Your spouse moves into your farmhouse with their own unique room. Your daily life changes too. At the start of each day, your spouse has a chance to surprise you with a gift. And when you interact with them, they might ask for a hug, a kiss, or even invite you on a hangout. You'll also unlock anniversary events every year, special post-marriage cutscenes, exclusive hangouts, and even receive a helpful anniversary buff that doubles heart points and mastery XP for the day. If your goal is having children, you'll need a level 4 house. And after that, your spouse will occasionally ask if you'd like to have a child. The higher your relationship, the more likely that conversation becomes. And 14 days later, your new family member arrives. The child's skin color and swaddle wrap will look different based on your spouse. And you can have up to 2 children. That said, children growing up hasn't been added just yet, but it's already on the development roadmap. So your family story isn't over yet. Romancing someone in Coral Island is about a lot more than reaching 10 hearts. Now you know how to unlock every romance candidate, build relationships faster, avoid getting heart-locked, prepare for marriage, and even dodge a few awkward mistakes along the way. And before you start your next save, watch this next guide where I share the biggest beginner mistakes I learned after restarting Coral Island. It'll save you a lot of time during your first year.